Hello everyone, this is Ronan Blue. How are you doing? In today's topic, I'd like to talk about the pros and cons of Bangkok or living here. So let's start off with the pros of Bangkok. So first off, what I noticed is it's a 24-hour city. Everything's pretty much open. Not everything, but 7-Eleven, for example, and some shops are open till late. If you had like certain bills to pay for, you can actually pay for bills at 4 o'clock in the morning, like your utility bills or something like that. Just walk over to 7-Eleven and pay for your electricity. So that's one thing I noticed as a pro here in Bangkok. There's also a ton of different kinds of shopping malls here as well. They range from the budget to the more expensive stuff, but there's a whole bunch of malls here for you to get out of the hot sun, and they're nicely air conditioned as well. There's this one mall called MBK where it's questionable the types of products that they have there, but some of it is a rip-off, or what do you call them? They're fake. So, but you know, they're really cheap and affordable. So if you're a budget traveler, then that mall would probably be a good place for you to be able to find some good deals. But of course, there are some more expensive departments or malls as well, like Tokyo, where you'll find like big time brand name American or European brands as well. So you're looking at Louis Vuitton, or to be honest with you, I'm not really too sure because I don't buy brand name stuff, but I'm just saying there's a wide variety of things you can shop for here in Bangkok. But another pro would be all of the different types of foods that you can find here in Bangkok as well. So you can find those hawker style stands and get you can also find a whole bunch of different restaurants, and it's not only Thai food either. There's a whole bunch of westernized food. The Thai food, of course, is usually a lot cheaper, but there's Western food as well. You can buy Japanese ramen if you wanted to, or an American burger, but you'll probably be paying the same price as you would back home for that kind of stuff. But for Thai food, which we usually stick to, you're looking at paying for 2 people $10 a day. So that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we have a very low cost of living when it comes to food, and it's pretty affordable. And there's also cheap transportation here as well. So you can take the BTS, the MRT, or you can take the taxis as well, which are pretty affordable. And if you have a smartphone, you can just download the Grab app. So Grab is basically like an Uber, so you can just order a Grab as well. And there's tuk-tuks as well, and buses. People tend not to take the buses as often, but there's also motorcycle taxis as well. If you're brave enough to take one of those anyways, you just sit on the back seat and they take you where you want. And it's pretty efficient means of transportation because you get to weave right through the traffic with a motorcycle. But it is probably one of the more dangerous ways to you know, move from one place to another. So, and also what you'll find in Bangkok is that the roads are really well maintained. So the infrastructure in Bangkok is pretty much the same here, but you do have to watch out when you walk around. When you do walk around, there's not a lot of sidewalks, so you have to be kind of careful for that. I mean, we know because we're experienced walkers. We pretty much walk anywhere and everywhere, so just to get our exercise. But the roads overall are very well maintained, and you'll find that the signs are bilingual. So there's both in Thai and English, or translated into English anyway, so it's easy to kind of get around. But it's actually not advisable for you to travel by scooter in Bangkok because it's a little bit dangerous. A lot of people do travel by scooter. It's probably the most efficient way to travel is by scooter, but the gasoline for a full tank for a scooter isn't really that expensive either. So but you'd be kind of risking your life. I would say I'm not very happy driving with a scooter. I'd rather walk around. But another pro would be the people. Like, they're always so nice and really laid back, and I just feel really comfortable around them. And I definitely wouldn't be vlogging if I didn't feel comfortable. And people just walk by and they smile. Of course, you got to smile back, but you learn your smile, and you feel really relaxed. And it's not really a place where you feel a lot of pressure. The main religion here in Thailand would be Buddhism. So with Buddhism, the Thai people really tolerate a lot of things, and sadly a lot of foreigners take advantage of that, right? Because the Thai people won't really confront you and tell you what you're doing wrong. They just sort of, you know it in the back of their minds, but they don't actually confront you with it. So they tolerate with some of your actions. So you got to be kind of careful and mindful of the things you do, just to be respectful to them. And sadly, a lot of foreigners know what they're doing wrong, and they continue to do so, from what I noticed. Bangkok, Thailand also has a very rich cultural heritage as well. You'll find temples here, and you'll find attractions all over the city. The Grand Palace would be one of the places that a lot of people visit, but you can see that there's a very strong cultural atmosphere there as well. And it's kind of like the nostalgic old with the ultra modern mixed together, and it's a very good contrast. And there's not a lot of cities in the world that kind of has that contrast, especially back in North America, where everything is pretty much a concrete block, or for the major cities anyways. But here, although it is a capital, there's a lot of greenery, I find. Like I'm walking through one right now, and there's that mixture between the old and the modern. And another pro would be that the lifestyle is a lot more better here as well. So you can actually get a maid here. It's affordable to do so. You can even have people get your laundry and wash it for you and bring it back to you. I mean, it depends on how lazy you are. I like to do my own underwear, but there is that option there to and also the housing options here are fantastic as well. It's not really that expensive. For example, in essential areas, you'll be paying like $400 to $600 USD per month. And they're not just regular condo units either. Like you're looking at really modern places of dwelling, and it's actually the same unit that you would be living here in Bangkok would be about probably double or triple the cost. So you want to keep that in mind, that it's really affordable to live here overall in Thailand. And it's also a place where you can invite your friends and your family. They would definitely have a wonderful time here as well, just because of the affordability. Like you can pay for their food as well. Let's say you have a family of 6 or something like that. You can have a full course dinner for everybody, and you can pay for it, and it'll be affordable for you as well. So it's a good place to retire here and just spend a relaxing time with the people around. And also Bangkok actually makes for a very good travel hub as well. You can find some cheap flights. Like for example, it was actually only about $220 per person to fly from Bangkok to Tokyo. So that's a pretty affordable price. And the planes throughout the world anyways is manufactured by the same companies. So the level of service is excellent here as well. So the maintenance of the planes is actually pretty good as well. So you'll be able to travel quite comfortably here in Bangkok as a travel hub. And also for those who like the nightlife, there's a lot of that kind of life as well. But I'm not really too into it. I find some of the stuff kind of shady, but they say that Bangkok is best, or Thailand is best for the single man. I don't think that's true. I think it's best for anybody really, couples and families, even children. So it really depends. You can adjust your lifestyle that way. Not an issue. But another pro would be that you'll find that there's a lot of spas and massage parlors in any neighborhood really. what they do is they line up on the streets and they try and get you into having a massage. But it's hit or miss for a lot of the massage parlors, but that is an option for you. So if you're feeling a little bit tense and you want to relax, and you can just pop into a massage parlor, and an hour later you feel fantastic. So that is an advantage as well that you don't find anywhere else. So yeah, you can take full advantage of that as well. And another great thing is there's a whole bunch of different kinds of markets here as well. There's night markets and there's train markets, there's wet markets. So you can go grocery shopping if you wanted to for a cheaper price, and you'll get fresh produce, fresh fruits and vegetables, as well as meats. So there's a number of different products that you can buy. But then if you want a little bit more luxury, you can go to those grocery stores as well. And there's like places like Tesco or Tops to buy some of that, the richer types of grocery foods. But there's a wide range of different places where you can go grocery shopping to adjust your cost of living. So now let's just talk about some of the cons that we have here in Bangkok, starting with the traffic. Now the traffic is chaotic here. If you're not careful, especially if you're walking, you're gonna get run over or sideswiped by a scooter. They're not the best of drivers. It's pretty dangerous, and they actually really come close. Like we actually came in from the Bangkok airport, the international airport, and we ordered a taxi, and the taxi driver is crazy. He almost hit a couple of cars just weaving through traffic, and I guess that's normal there, and it scared the crap out of us when we first arrived there in Bangkok. And it's not really advised for you to be driving a car or a scooter around the city, in the central area anyways. Or if you live in the suburbs, yeah, it's good to have a car because you'll need to drive into the city there. So, but then keep in mind that if you do live in the central areas, it's a lot more expensive, yes, but you'll find all of the amenities closer in the central areas. So it'll be actually overall cheaper for you to probably live in the central areas instead. But another disadvantage would be that people here drive on the left-hand side. So if you're not accustomed to that, especially in North America where everyone drives on the right-hand side, it's a lot easier to drive. But on the left-hand side, you just have to learn to adjust. So it might be a little hard for those who just first start to drive. But there's also the Thai language. It's pretty difficult to learn Thai. We made the attempt to do so, and I think we only got to page 2 because there's so many different ways to pronounce the intonations. I think there's 5 different ways of saying certain things, and it's just way too complex. And also the Thai alphabet, it was fun kind of drawing them out, but after a while it just gets super confusing. So it's something that you got to learn from a child, I would say. I mean, for those who already know how to speak and read Thai, congratulations, because it's a very difficult language to learn. And you'll find that a lot of people don't really speak English here. It is a tourist-driven city, and although it is, a lot of people, there is a lack of English here. But of course, if you're really dedicated, you can learn the Thai language, and that's really the only way you can socialize with the Thai people, by learning their own language. They actually tend to keep a little bit of a distance from foreigners because most foreigners are kind of transient. We're here only for a short term, and a lot of the Thais know this, and there's no point in having to socialize with somebody who's just gonna, take off. But actually that goes for expats as well. And also another disadvantage would be that although that Bangkok overall is safe, there are certain bag snatchers or pickpocketers. So you got to be careful with scooters that drive by, especially if for women who strap their purses towards the street. So it's easy for those on scooters with ill intent to go and grab your bag. So you want to make sure that you guard your bag there and put it on the opposite side, so you can protect your belongings that way. But another con would be the visas. The visas are quite complex here in Thailand. For example, a lot of us from United States or North America and some European countries, you're allowed 30 days, a 30-day visa, or no, a 30-day free entry into Thailand. But anything past that, it gets a little bit more complicated, and they're not making it as easy as it used to be to get in here. So for example, another situation would be the retirement visa. Like for the retirement visa, they're constantly changing it. You have to always refer to the website to see what the new changes would be. Just recently, just last year, they made a huge change to the retirement program, and there's actually 3 choices you can choose from. But one of the biggest things that was changed was you have to keep a particular amount of money in a bank account, a Thai bank account anyways. So it's mandatory now. Before, it was just basically showing a statement showing the amount of money that you needed to retire there in Thailand. But now you actually have to physically have the money right in the bank account in Thailand. So it makes it a lot more complicated. And that has actually caused a lot of people to leave this country, because it's not really easy for people to, you know, have that amount of money stored inside their banks, and they just simply leave. So there's been a mass migration of people who have been leaving Thailand because of this reason. And also another con would be the pollution levels in Bangkok are getting worse. I guess that comes with development as the city grows in infrastructure as well as population. You're looking at a lot more garbage and pollution. Actually, I read an article just a couple months ago saying that Bangkok had the worst air in the world. But actually, to be honest with you, maybe it's only because I'm walking through a park here. I don't really notice that as much, but it seems pretty clean. Another thing is the cost of living is actually slightly growing as well as the years progress. But yeah, I mean, it flows over to the previous point that I mentioned about development. So it is getting more and more pricier to live here in Bangkok. And I actually heard that the average Bangkok, you know, the GDP per capita, it isn't sufficient enough for the average local person to live here. Like it's very highly, almost impossible for them to save any money. But another con of Bangkok would be the weather, especially when it rains. It just doesn't rain, it actually pours. So you're gonna have to find cover right away, otherwise you'll be completely drenched. So you gotta watch out for the weather. But that's actually the case for all around Southeast Asia. So you'll find that there's a lot of rain. And also what you'll find is that sometimes foreigners are charged a higher price. That's definitely a con, because whenever you go to these different kinds of attractions and temples, etc., you'll find that there's a foreigner price and a Thai price. And sometimes the Thai price is 3 times higher for entry fees. But sometimes you'll find that even the food vendors, the tiny little places, also has higher prices where you pay a little bit extra, and it's really subtle the way they do it, right? So they actually add a little bit more baht on top of what it is, but yeah, just watch out for that. But then it's actually worth paying a little bit anyways. For us, it's only a couple of cents to do so. But another thing you might be a little bit concerned about is just the sheer number of people. I mean, there's lots of people all around you. So if you're from a smaller town or smaller city where the population is a lot lower, you might be overwhelmed when you come to Bangkok, because there's a ton of people all around you. So, but if you don't mind that kind of atmosphere, it actually adds a little bit of excitement as well, being able to see a lot of people around you. So, but another con would be that you will always be called a Farang here in Thailand. So no matter how many years you live in Thailand, you'll always be considered a Farang. And even if you want to integrate into the Thai society, and even if you know how to speak a little bit of Thai, you'll never really be fully accepted, and you'll always be a Farang. So that is one con as well. And also prostitution is actually openly, so I wouldn't say accepted, but it's openly known. You'll find like lady boys, and you'll find like prostitution there in certain streets. So yeah, just be mindful for that as well. I mean, they say it's a single man's paradise here in Bangkok, but it's not necessarily the case. You just have to, you know, not go to those types of establishments if you don't approve of it. And a lot of people, what they do is they turn a blind eye to the goings on of these establishments. So but yeah, that's a con too. But what you'll also find is there's a lot of poverty here, and a lot of people think that Westerners have a lot of money. That's a stereotype anyways, and Westerners are actually taken advantage of. So you gotta kind of guard your wallet in some cases, and sometimes we're looked at as walking wallets, you know. So, and you sometimes have to be careful with how you associate yourself with people. I mean, you don't want to trust too much of those who are overly friendly, because if they are overly friendly, it's most likely the case they're after your wallet. So you got to watch out for that. And yeah, just do the things that you would do back home, and not to do the things you would do back home. And what I mean by that is you would never be walking into a dark alley back home. And if that's the case, don't do that over here in Thailand either. So you gotta kind of know your wits. But another con would be that the service here in Bangkok isn't especially that great. Like over in North America, they have a tipping service, so they actually fight for their tips, right? But in Thailand, well, you get your food and you sit down and you get the rest. Like you get your utensils and your napkins, and that's about it. So there's no further service on top of that. But another con would be like mosquito spray. Like we spray ourselves every morning, because there is a possibility that you might get dengue fever or any other types of illnesses. So you want to be really highly aware of your surroundings and avoid those mosquitoes, and make sure you spray everywhere in your body, your legs and your arms and your whole body, just to get those mosquitoes away from you. But overall, if you go through all of the pros and cons that I spoke of today, and you still feel that it is a place of retirement, just know that there is a huge international community here of every nationality you can think of. And most people actually speak English. That's probably the main language that everyone communicates with. So keep that in mind. Some people love Bangkok and some people dislike Bangkok. For us so far, we really love Bangkok, and I think it's a great place for you to retire eventually, whether it be early retirement or the traditional retirement at 65, to live in Thailand with your social security. So that's something that you want to really maybe make it a goal, is depending on your age, really. Well, tell me what you think of the pros and cons of living in Bangkok in the comment section below. Maybe you can mention some that I haven't mentioned here, especially if you're one who is living in Thailand at this time, Bangkok. Thanks for watching my vlog. If you like this vlog, please don't forget to give me a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell for more of my coming content here. Thank you for watching my vlog. Be free, gain wealth, and travel far.